In this session, we discuss on non-Vedic systems, especially on Jainism, Ajiva, Syad Vada and Anekanta Vada. Ajiva. We have seen that the whole universe, according to Jainism, is brought under the two everlasting, uncreated, eternal and coexisting categories which are called Jiva and Ajiva. Already we have discussed the concept of Jiva in the first e-content related to Jainism. Jiva means the conscious spirit and Ajiva means the unconscious non-spirit. Ajiva Dravyas are Ajeda. The Ajiva Dravyas are Pudgala, matter, Adharma, Agasha and Kala. Let us consider these different Ajiva Dravyas one by one. Matter or Pudgala. Jainism believes in the independent existence of matter. Matter in Jaina philosophy is known as Pudgala. Etymologically, the term Pudgala means that which is liable to integration and disintegration. Matter has two forms, the indivisible elementary forms and their different combinations. According to Jainism, matter is a Murta Dravya or the corporeal category which can be perceived by the senses. Matter constitute the physical base of the universe. Things which we perceive in the world consist of gross forms of matter, earth, water, fire and air. All these are perceived by the sense organs. The subtle form of matter is called Paramanus or subtle atoms which are beyond the reach of human senses. By the combination of these atoms, aggregates are formed which are called skandhas. The objects of the world are such aggregates of material atoms. Each particle of matter has the characteristics of touch, taste, smell and color. A Pudgala or a material object possesses these four qualities. According to Jaina philosophy, every object in the universe is called a skandha and the universe itself is called Mahaskandha or biggest aggregate. C.D. Sharma compared the atomic theory of Jainas with ancient Greek philosophy and Vaisheshika philosophy in India. He observes, matter is called Pudgala, which means that which is liable to integration and disintegration. This word is used in Buddhism in the sense of a soul, while in Jainism it is used for matter. An atom is supposed to be the smallest part of matter which cannot be further divided. Compound objects of the material world, including senses, mind and breath, are the combinations of atoms. Matter possesses the four qualities of color, taste, smell and touch. Sound is regarded not as a quality as other systems have done, but only as a modification of matter. These atoms are supposed to house the souls. Like the ancient Greek atomist Democritus and Leucippus, and unlike the Nyaya Vaisheshika thinkers, the Jainas do not maintain any qualitative difference in the atoms. All atoms are qualitatively alike and indistinguishable. They become differentiated by developing the qualities of color, taste, smell and touch. Hence, the distinction of the elements of earth, water, fire and air is secondary and transmutation of elements is quite possible. Matter in its subtle form constitutes karma which infiltrates into the souls and binds them to samsara. Agasha or space. According to Jaina thought, space like time is also infinite, eternal and imperceptible. All substance except time have extension and extension is afforded only by space. Space is the locus of extension. The function of space is to afford room for the existence of all extended substances. The existence of space is inferred as the condition of extension. Substances which are extended can have extension only in some places, and that is called space. Soul, matter, dharma, adharma all exist in space. Without space, substance could not be extended. The Jaina distinguishes two kinds of space, the Lokakasa and Alokakasa. In one, motion is possible and it is called Lokakasa or filled space. In the other, motion is not possible and it is called Alokakasa or empty space. In the Lokakasa, souls and other substance live. Dharma or motion. Like space, dharma is also eternal and imperceptible. Dharma is formless and passive. This makes the motion of souls and matter possible. It is imperceptible though it fills the entire universe of life and matter. Dharma has none of the characteristic qualities of life or matter, but pervades the whole world. Dharma cannot generate motion, but it helps or favors motion as water helps the motion of fish. Itself being unaffected by movement, it forms the medium of the motion of both matter and life. Dharma can help the motion of the moving object. It cannot make a non-living object move, just as water can't make a fish move. Dharma is the medium of movement and not its cause. Adharma or rest. This is the opposite of dharma. It is also eternal and imperceptible. It is formless and passive. Adharma pervades the whole universe and serves as a medium of rest. It helps rest like the earth supporting things which rest on it, or like the shade of a tree helping the wayfarer to stop for the rest. But adharma cannot arrest the movement of any moving object. Dharma and adharma are non-physical inactive conditions of movement and rest. Kala or time. It is included in Astikavya dravya because it does not extend in space. Like space, it is infinite and imperceptible. Time is beginningless and endless, one and indivisible. But for all practical purpose, time is divided into limited periods such as minutes, hours, days, months, years and ages. Each unit of kala is indivisible and eternal. The units of time do not mix with one another. The universe is filled with time units. The conventional division of time is known as empirical time or vyavaharika samaya. The empirical time is limited by beginning and end, but the transcendental time is infinite, one and indivisible. The transcendental time is known as paramarthika samaya. Time makes possible the continuity, modification, movement, newness and oldness of substance. Without time, thing cannot endure or continue to exist. Duration implies moments of time in which existence is prolonged. Modification or change of state also cannot be conceived without time. An orange can be green and ripe only successively, that is at different moments of time. And without the supposition of time distinctions, we can't understand how a thing can possess such incompatible characters. Similarly, the distinction between old and new, the earlier and the latter, cannot be explained without time. Time is an indivisible substance. One and the same time is present everywhere in the world. Time has no extension in space, and so it is an Astikavya dravya. According to Jainas, real time is formless and eternal. Syad Vada and Anekanta Vada. As stated earlier, the Jaina metaphysics is a realistic and relativistic pluralism. It is known as Anekanta Vada, or the doctrine of the manifoldness of reality. According to Jainism, matter and spirit are separate and independent realities. Each material atom and soul possesses innumerable attributes and characteristics. For the human beings, it is not possible to know either all the quantities or the qualities of a thing. Human knowledge is relative and limited. This theory of Jainism is known as Syad Vada. Anekanta Vada and Syad Vada are the two aspects of the same teaching, realistic and relativistic pluralism. They are like the two sides of the same coin. The metaphysical view that reality has innumerable characters is called Anekanta Vada. This Vada logically implies that we can know some aspects of the reality and our judgments are necessarily relative. This is called Syad Vada. Let us discuss these two Vadas separately. Anekanta Vada. Anekanta Vada, or the manyness of reality, is a metaphysical theory of reality. Reality, according to the Jaina, while maintaining its identical nature, expresses itself through multiple forms. Since the reality is multiform and ever changing, nothing can be considered to be existing everywhere at all times and in all ways. A thing has many characters and it exists independently. This is known as substance. It persists through all attributes and modes. Substance is defined as that which possesses quality and modes. Out of these innumerable qualities of a substance, some are permanent and essential, while others are changing and accidental. The permanent qualities are called gunas or attributes, and the changing qualities are called paryaya or modes. The substance and attributes are inseparable because the guna are permanent essence of a substance and can't remain without it. Modes are changing and accidental. According to Jainism, reality is a unity and difference, or a difference and unity. Viewed from the point of view of a substance, a thing is one and permanent and real. But viewed from the point of view of the modes, the substance is changing and unreal. A true apprehension of the nature of substance must recognize this aspect and hence should reject any type of absolute predication. Since absolute prediction is impossible, Jaina Darshana is called Anekanta Vada as opposed to other darshanas which are Ekanta Vada. Jaina philosophers says that the extremely complex nature of the reality admits of all opposite predicates from different standpoints. It is real as well as unreal. The reality is universal as well as particular. It is permanent as well as many. C.D. Sharma, in his critical survey of Indian philosophy, explained the Anekanta Vada and compare it with Buddhism and Brahmanism. He says, Jainism here becomes a theological mean between Brahmanism and early Buddhism. Brahmanism emphasizes the one, the permanent, the real. Early Buddhism emphasizes the many, the changing, the unreal. Jainism points out that both are the two sides of the same thing. Substance, therefore, is also defined as that which possesses the three characteristics of production, destruction and permanence. Substance has its unchanging essence and therefore is permanent, but it also has its changing modes and therefore is subject to origination and decay. To mistake any one side's and partial view as the whole truth is to commit the fallacy of Vada. As Jainism takes into account all these partial views, it is called Vada. The Jaina philosophers are quoting the old story of the 6 blind men who each laid hands on different parts of the elephant and tried to describe the whole animal from the part touched by him. Thus, the man who touched the leg of the elephant said that the elephant was like a pillar. The person holding the trunk said that it was like a python. The person who touched the tail thought that the animal was like a rope, and so on. The descriptions of the blind men were true from their own standpoint, but all these descriptions are partially true. Jaina philosophers says that almost all philosophical disputes arise due to a confusion of standpoints. Philosophers differ because they mistake a partial truth for the whole truth. According to Jainism, philosophical doctrines represent merely the different aspects of the many-sided reality. Each philosophical doctrine is a partial view. This view makes Jainism Catholic, broad-minded and tolerant. Syad Vada or 7 modes of predication. Syad Vada is the theory of relativity of knowledge. Syad Vada is also called Saptabhanginaya. According to this theory, the reality has infinite aspects and we can know only some aspects. Therefore, all our judgments are necessarily relative, conditional and limited. The word Syad literally means probable, perhaps or maybe, and Syad Vada is translated as the theory of probability or the doctrine of maybe. The word Syad is used in the sense of relative. So, the Syad Vada means the theory of relativity of knowledge. According to Jainism, as we have seen in the above paragraphs, reality is very complex and indefinite. Reality has innumerable aspects which are all relative and we can know only some of the aspects. So, all our judgments is necessarily relative and conditional. We can't deny or affirm anything absolutely of any object. This doctrine of conditional prediction is called Syad Vada. Jaina philosophers hold that the infinitely complex nature of a thing implies the possibility of positive and negative predications about the same thing. This doctrine is referred to as Astinasti. All judgments according to Jainism are double-edged. Affirmation implies negation and vice versa. It is not contradictory to hold that affirmative and negative prepositions are maintained about the same thing. The contradiction is resolved when we remember that affirmative and negative predications are possible from different standpoints. Based upon the principles of Syad Vada is the doctrine of Saptabhangi or 7 modes of prediction. For the Jaina logicians, there are 7 ways of speaking of a thing or its attributes. If we accept the conditional nature of reality, then 7 kinds of judgments can be made, every one of which is true relatively. Each judgment, being relative, is preceded by the word Syad. The 7 types of judgments are the following. Number 1, Syad Asti. Maybe it is relatively a thing is real. 2, Syad Nasti. Maybe it is not relatively a thing is unreal. 3, Syad Astinasti. Maybe it is and it is not relatively a thing is both real and unreal. 4, Syad Avaktavya. Maybe it is indescribable. Relatively a thing is indescribable. 5, Syad Astija Avaktavya. Maybe it is and is indescribable. Relatively a thing is real and is indescribable. 6. Syad nastija avaktavya. Maybe it is not and is indescribable. Relatively, a thing is unreal and is indescribable. 7. Syad astija nastija avaktavya. Maybe it is not and is indescribable. Relatively, a thing is real, unreal and indescribable. The principle underlying Syad Vada make Jaina thinkers Catholic in their outlook. They accept the views of other philosophers as different possible versions of the universe from different points of view. Now, let us summarize. The schools of Indian philosophy are classified into heterodox schools and orthodox schools. Jainism is a heterodox school because it do not believe in the Veda Pramana. Jainism is both a philosophy and religion. Matter and spirit are regarded as independent realities or substances. According to Jainism, there are two kinds of substances, Astikya and Anastikya dravyas. Jiva and Ajiva are two Astikya substances. Two types of Jivas in Jainism are Baddha and Mukta. Ajiva Padarthas are Pudgala, Kala, Aghasha, Dharma, Adharma. All judgments are relative and so their doctrine is known as Syad Vada. Syad Vada is based upon Anekanta Vada. According to Syad Vada, reality has infinite aspects and we can know only some aspects. Therefore, all our judgments are necessarily relative and limited. The principle underlying Syad Vada make Jaina thinkers Catholic in their outlook. There are some assignments for you to work out. Number 1. Describe the concept of Ajiva Dravya in Jaina philosophy. Number 2. Explain the concept of Pudgala. 3. Give a short account of Syad Vada. 4. How Anekanta Vada and Syad Vada is related to Jaina philosophy. Explain. 5. Kala is regarded as an Anastikaya Dravya in Jaina philosophy. Justify the statement. 6. Give a short account of Ajiva Dravyas. Now, I can suggest some books for your reference. Number 1. Mallishena, Syad Vada Manjari, Bombay Sanskrit Series, Bombay 1938. Number 2. Yaso Vijaya, Jaina Tarka Bhasha, Singhi Jaina Jnanapida, Calcutta 1938. Number 3. Walter Schuberg, The Doctrine of the Jainas, Motilal Banarsidass, Delhi 1932. Number 4. M. L. Mehta, Outlines of Jaina Philosophy, Jaina Mission Society, Bangalore 1954. Number 5. S. T. Stevenson, The Heart of Jainism, Oxford University Press, London 1915. Number 6. Nathmal Tatya, Studies in Jaina Philosophy, Jaina Cultural Research Society, Benares 1951. Number 7. Jinabhadra Acharya, Atmanushasana, The Central Jaina Publishing House, Lucknow 1928. Number 8. Amulya Chandra Sen, Schools and Sects in Jaina Literature, Vishwabharati Bookshop, Calcutta 1931. Thank you for watching this session. See you next time. Until then, bye.